So why don't Palestinians just give up? I mean, I feel like it's the easier option. Just because, you know, it's hard to just live in a war-torn country. There might be an easier option to just give up or concede or, you know, but they try so hard to defend their land.
Yeah, same. It's not actually about doing the easiest thing in your life. It's about doing the correct thing. Be wise and take the good decision, the correct decision. For example, let's be general, okay? We wake up from our bed, we get fresh, we pray, we go to our work or study, whatever. We could have just slept. That would be so much easier, right? But we wake up and we go to our work for our daily life, for our self, for our future generation, and all of us. So now think about the Palestinians, okay? They need to defend themselves for their homeland, for their children, for their future generation, brothers and sisters, for their own rights. So if they just leave their homeland and just go somewhere that will be okay, let's just leave, it will be easier, then it's not be the best decision for their self in future, for their future generation, and for their rights. So basically it's about taking the right decision, taking the wise decision, and every time we will see that making the wise decision is way harder, and it takes patience to take the wise decision, to do the correct thing. So it's not about doing the easiest thing. Mainly we need to take good decision, correct decision, wise decision.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you talked about the difference between like what is easy and what is right, that it's two different things, and that you talked about patience, because that reminded me of like the surah, which is Surah Al-Muddatssir. And here it was actually revealed after the Prophet started to preach more publicly, and this was kind of like Allah's handbook for him. So, you know, among the things that he said was actually this. Allah understood that, you know, the Prophet, when he's preaching to people, it's not an easy thing to do, because, you know, you have to preach to people who probably like were completely have no idea what Islam is, don't believe in it at all. They probably even hate him for even, you know, trying to do this. So he is getting backlash, he's getting, you know, people are abusing him, like being violent with him, and yet he still chose to do it because, as you said, that's the right thing to do. Not necessarily the easy thing, but the right thing.
Yes.
So what are some things that you can give, like just give an example, what you think is something that is hard to do but it is the right thing?
For example, forgiving someone. Let's think about a situation when someone cursed you. What you feel? Like instantly to curse them back. But the right thing is to do, like, it's to hold yourself, be patient, and forgive them. So always you will see that the right thing takes patience and it takes time and it's hard. So right thing actually interrelates with so many things. Patience, and it's harder than the than the bad thing, and it's like for example, what's the word did I just mentioned right now? And it needs more patience. It's harder and it takes more time than the easier things.
So could you give me some tips on like how I can be more patient?
The first thing is you need to get closer to Allah. Pray 5 times. When you pray 5 times, it's automatically like learning how to be patient. When you are praying, you need to wake up from subuh, you need to like get wudu, pray, then 5 times. It's not like so easy thing, but when you get into it, it's like, okay, you are already into this thing. So it's like we say the first thing to be patient. Then when you get closer to Allah, when you like already learned the 5, like when you already get into the prayers, 5 times prayers, then when you start reading Quran, when you make a habit, it takes patience to make a habit. So these are the Islamic regulations to pray, to read Quran. After that, like be regular in your daily timeline, going to work timely, do your assignments timely, to maintain. It's not necessary that every time you need to be like, you need to manage, but you may fail sometimes. Even I fail sometimes to do things timely, but I try to learn my mistakes. I try to make myself better. Then I think, okay, what are the things I could have done better to make these things in time, or to make me pass in this task. So when you think about these things and you calculate among, like, in yourself, you will automatically get patience when you start doing these things by yourself.
So like make habits.
Yeah.
Basically building habits
Good
and
habits.
routines.
Yeah. Routines.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea actually.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do,
It's the
but
first
it's the
general
right thing to do.
Yeah. What's one thing that you do in an easy way, but you can do it better?
One thing I do that's easy, but okay. Yeah, probably since I don't drive, I'm usually the passenger in a car. Passenger princess. Yeah, so when I tend to shut myself out when I'm in a car, even if I'm with my family. I usually just like put on my earphones and listen to music. It might be better instead for me to use that time to actually interact with them, maybe ask them how their day was.
Yeah.
And yeah, but sometimes I know that it's easier for me to just tune in and just like listen to my own, like just put myself
just be
away.
yourself,
Yeah, because it's easier that way. Sometimes it takes a lot of energy to initiate conversations and hold conversations. So yeah, it's definitely harder, but it might be the better way to do.
Yeah, so next time Intan's gonna communicate when she's in the car, insyaAllah.
I'm gonna communicate in the car.
Yeah.
But now that you're mentioning all this easy, the easy thing is not necessarily the right thing.
Yeah.
And I recall that, Allah has actually told us this and given us this advice. It's almost a given that the right thing is going to be hard.
Yeah.
So in this surah, that was exactly what was said,
Surah Al-Muddatssir.
like in Surah Al-Muddatssir, Allah told the Prophet who was preaching, who is preaching publicly, that when you do these things, you have to do it without expectation, without reward. You don't expect anything in return for the favors that you do, and also to always be patient, because Allah knows that it's always going to be difficult. So Zareen, I just want to ask you, have you ever thought about...
Again.
What? I didn't do anything yet. Okay.